All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Straight Talk. I have got a bunch of information for you tonight, and I'm going to tell you, I love to go out and do my research before these shows. I mean, look at all this stuff. Lots happening with the marketplace we're going to cover tonight. Specifically, we're going to be talking about the 5 indicators that show that the market is changing, and I'm going to talk through those with you and tell you, or help you understand rather, what all of that means for you guys. We're going to be talking about the percentage of new home listings. Is it going up or down? There's been a lot of talk about that this year. Next, we're going to cover what's the average days on market until sale. That's something that's hard to find on most public-facing websites. And I think that's an important indicator of what's happening with the market. Next, we're going to cover what's happening with the average sales price of homes. Then we're going to move into, are sellers getting more or less than their original sales price? And then last but not least is interest rates are on the move. Can you afford to wait? My name is Nat Ferguson, owner of Ferguson Realty. Do me a favor. If you can hear me loud and clear and the audio is coming through and the video is coming through, I'm using a new camera tonight. I've got new lighting. I've got a lot of new moving parts. Hit the love button. Let me know you guys can hear. Hit the little like button. I would appreciate it. And let me know where you guys are watching from tonight. This promotion went out a little bit further than most, so I'm excited to see who's on here. Dana's on. Robert, what's up, brother? Charles, what's happening, man? I appreciate you stopping by. Yep, thank you. James is on. Renee is on. Alyssa. Wow, I've got a lot of you guys tuning in tonight. I really appreciate it. And again, as I said, we changed up a lot of equipment, and normally it's not the best thing to do to change more than 1 or 2 pieces, but today we changed about 3 or 4. So I'm glad that the audio is coming through loud and clear. Real Estate Straight Talk is a bi-weekly live session focused on providing actionable real estate advice. So we try to touch on things that are relevant to people who are thinking about buying, thinking about selling, and people who are just trying to understand what's happening in the marketplace. The reason we do it on Facebook Live is very simple. It allows you and I to have a two-way conversation. As you can see, just beneath the screen there's a comment section, just like if it was any other Facebook post. And tonight specifically, we're going to be using kind of a Q&A format as we go through the 5 indicators that show that the market is changing. So, that being said, I want to jump right in. And the goal here is for you to guess or make an educated guess on each of these 5 topics as we kind of move through the content of today's Real Estate Straight Talk. So item number 1 is the percentage of new home listings trending up or down. Is the percentage of new home listings trending up or down? So type your guess in the comment section. I want to see what you guys, what you see happening in the marketplace. And then in just a minute after I see some guesses come through, I'm going to reveal the answer to that. But I'm going to repeat the question again. Is the percentage of new home listings trending up or down? What's happening out there with the new home listings? Robert says up. Dana says down, question mark. Susan says up, and she's got the little wondering emoji, thinking about it. Up. We've got some more ups. Sue Hobbs says down. Dana said, Robert, you guys can see the comments. I don't need to read them back to you. So it seems all the comments I'm looking at here, except for one, thinks that the percentage of new home listings is trending up. And that would be correct. For a very long time, this hasn't been the trend. And when I tell you in a moment what the trend looks like, this is over the last 12 months. This is an average of what's been happening from last year all the way up to the current date. And so we're up 16.7%. Now that's a pretty good shift in inventory of new home listings because for the longest time people have been saying, well, we have this drought, we don't have enough for sale. I can tell you personally, if I'm just looking at our sales board here in the office, we have double for sale right now, double the number of homes as we had this time last year in January, or rather February. And also a lot more people that are actually out shopping to buy homes with us as well. I think that number is probably even triple what it was last year. So the percentage is 16.7% higher than it was last year. So we're starting to see these homes, come on the market. And I'll be honest with you, we're going to these appointments and the first question we ask people is, why are you thinking about selling? And the number one theme that I hear is that we think it's kind of the top of the market and we just think now would be a good time to sell. So I think that that's interesting that the collective conscious of people is that we're nearing the top of the market. So, but let's get back into some of the numbers here. Moving on, the next point, how many days is the average home on the market until sale? So from the time that it goes into the multiple listing service until it's in escrow, what is your guess? How many days is that? And then is that number increasing or decreasing? Are homes selling quicker or are they taking a little bit longer on the market? What's your guess? Type it in the comment section here. Let's see. 39, Robert says. That's a good guess, Robert. That might be one of the closer guesses here. Let's see what anybody else says. So guys, again, how many days is the average home on the market until sale? And is it trending up or is it trending down? So are our homes taking longer to sell or are they selling more quickly? And we're talking about the average of the last 12 months. How's that trend going? Selling faster, Robert says. Renee says 27 days. Susan says 35 days. Not a guess. Dana says 31 days. Let me tell you this. The days on market for homes that right now, today, we're at 41 days on market. Okay? Which sounds like a long time, but we're not talking about one particular part of the price range. We're talking across all home prices in our market, 41 days. And you have to remember, we got some, multi-million-dollar homes around here that take a little bit longer. And then we've got some less expensive homes that sell a little bit quicker. So what are our guesses here? What's up, Logan? Thanks for stopping in the show, buddy. 35 days, Logan says. And, oh boy, Robert nailed it. So the average is 41 days. And I wonder, Robert, if you are accessing that information online. You hit the nail on the head. 41 days, guys. And so, but here's the second part of that information. Is that trending up? Is the days on market, has that increased or has it decreased? Like what's really happening behind the scenes? Is it taking longer? So the 41 days is a decrease of 36.9%. So homes are selling 39.6% quicker than they were last year. So what we're seeing is that the days on market is getting shorter and shorter, and I think this is going to be a trend that we see continue through this year until we get enough homes out there that people literally have like a dozen different options to pick from when they want to buy, right? Because then once you have more options, just like a restaurant with a bigger menu, the more things you have to pick from, the longer it takes you to pick to make that purchase decision. So right now it's telling me that even though 41 days sounds like a long time, that's actually pretty fast. There's still not a big, giant amount of inventory for people to choose from that are looking to buy. So let me look at the comments over here. Yeah, it's pretty significant, guys. These numbers don't lie. Look at it. I might be too close to the screen. Oh, it's having trouble focusing. So a lot of stuff is happening in the marketplace. There it is. It focused back in. So, like the Cheesecake Factory menu. Exactly. You know how big that menu is? How do you even choose? I love it. Okay, moving on. Are you guys enjoying this, by the way, or do I just amuse myself by going and digging up factual information on the real estate market? If you're enjoying this, let's hit that like button. Oh yeah, you like that? Good eye. I thought you might catch that. That's for you guys, by the way. So if you guys are enjoying the content so far, let me know by hitting the little love button right there. Hit that like button. We've got a lot of people on tonight, and that's great. I really enjoy it, especially when you guys tune in, and we're having some fun. So moving on to the next one here. So the third indicator that the market is changing is, has the average sales price increased or decreased? What's happening with the prices of homes? So has the average sales price of homes in the market increased or decreased? This is a big one right here. This is something that when people are talking about, is the market near the top? If they're thinking about selling, is the market near the top? Well, we would need to know, are the sales prices increasing or are they decreasing? What is your guess? Type your guess in the comments section here. Okay, I see Susan says increased. Robert says increased big time. We need to get a couple more guesses through here, and then I'm going to reveal the information to you guys. There's an interesting trend starting to appear that I think you're going to appreciate here as you're talking to people about what's happening in the marketplace. So we've got two guesses that the prices are increasing, and Robert says increased big time. Increased but stabilizing now. Okay. Well, let me tell you this. If people think that the market is kind of nearing its top, a good way to tell if that's the case is if those appreciation numbers are either single digit or even like low single digit. So here's the percentage. The average sales price has increased by only 2.6%. Well, what does that mean? Like, how do you put that in perspective? Well, let me put it in perspective for you. The last couple years, when I looked at this same report, the last couple years, it was increasing year over year at like a double-digit appreciation, 11, 12, 13%. So the fact that we're looking at only 2.6%, I mean, it's one thing when people feel something happening or suspect something happening. It's an entirely different thing when the numbers tell you it is in fact happening now. So, what's up, Mike? Thanks for stopping by, buddy. Good to see you. Hit that like button if you're liking the show, you guys. So, back to what Dana's guess was. She says increased but stabilizing. I think that's that's probably the more keen observation of what 2.6% looks like. And it's California, right? So 2.6% of $1 million is that's $26,000. So if your home is worth $26,000 more now than it was last year, I don't think anybody's going to necessarily complain about that. But that's what's happening out there with the average sales price. Oh, look at you guys. You guys are networking in the comments section. So, moving on to the next point here in our 5 indicators that show the market is changing is item number 4. Are sellers getting more or less than their original sales price? I want to hear your guess on this one because this one is you can't just dig it up in Zillow or you can't just dig it up on the internet. This is only because we can pull a report at the end of the year like this, we can find this trend. So are sellers getting more than or less than their original sales price? Type your guess in there. This one I'm really curious to hear what you guys think, because the reality is that when people think it's the top of the market, what do? They try to put this exorbitant, not everybody, not our clients, but some people think, oh, it's the top of the market, I'm just going to make a number up. So if people are making up a number that's so much higher than the actual value, then that could affect the average, the trend of getting more or less than the original sales price. So how do you think that's trending? Let's see, Robert says less because they don't always price it like a pro realtor suggests. I like that, Robert. That's a good one. Dana says less than. Susan says more than. And Mike says more. So, you ready for this? Sellers are getting only 0.3% more than the original listing price. Anything more than what you listed your home for, that's a good thing. That's good. And I think part of it too, and I know some of you guys will agree with me, is that when you get into when you list your home for sale and then people are competing on it, right? They're trying to bid the price up. The reality is that in most cases, an appraiser has to come out and make a decision on whether or not the home is actually worth more than the list price. And so the appraisals have tended to be, okay, a little on the conservative side. And I think that that's reflected in that figure of 0.3% more than their asking price. So that's still a positive sign. I mean, people are still getting their price out there. There's some of them that are never going to get their price, and we all know which ones those are. And I'm sure you guys know which ones those are. You can tell the ones that are just overreaching by hundreds of thousands of dollars. But that's something we coach our clients on down here, because the reality is this. Unless somebody is coming along with a big bag of cash, meaning they're never going to have to get an appraisal, then there's really no one who's going to overpay by hundreds of thousands of dollars for your home. But that's a whole nother topic for another show. Okay, we're moving on to the final point in our show here. We're about 17 minutes in, and usually these things, I cut them right off at 20 minutes, just trying to keep it to the point and focus so I don't lose your attention. And I do appreciate your time, because I know it is 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's 5 o'clock right here. Okay. Are interest rates moving up or down? Now, this will tell me if you guys are paying attention to what's going on out in the market. Are interest rates moving up or down? Type your guesses. Let's see. Are interest rates moving up or down? Now, my real estate pros that are tuning in, I know you guys know the answer, but people who watch this back in replay may not know. Yep. Dana says up. Robert says up. Duh. Susan says up. Maureen says up. Maureen's got the little weepy emoji. Robert says Faber told me. Sue says up and away. And Renee says up. Well, good. You guys are all paying attention to what's going on out in the market. The reality is this. And we've been expecting this for a very long time. I think the problem is when people wait, they think they can just continue to wait for things. So our friends and our clients that think, oh, I'm going to wait it out. Or I'm thinking about buying a home, but I'm going to wait for the prices to go down. And then I'll buy my home. So what happens is, as you can see, I mean, the prices are continuing to appreciate slowly, but the interest rates are going up faster. And what that means is the longer you're waiting right now, today, you're basically missing out on the affordability that you would have had. So when the market starts to do these little corrections that we're seeing the beginning of, interest rates will go up before prices come down. So if you've been thinking about buying and you're sitting on the fence and watching this replay, you may want to act sooner rather than later because it's still a seller's market and interest rates are going up. With that said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight to Real Estate Straight Talk. I do appreciate your time. I appreciate all the participation and all the love and support. My staff, my friends, family, everybody that shows up for these live sessions. I do appreciate you guys being here tonight. In the interim, if you hear of anyone, friends, family, neighbors talking about buying or selling, we would appreciate your referrals. That's it, guys. We'll see you in another 2 weeks. Take care.